defeating the Bills 24-22 for their third victory in a row. And it was funny because a lot of people were laughing at this Broncos team a few weeks back, saying that they need to blow the whole thing up. They need to bring in, brand new quarterback, brand new coach, brand new everything. And sometimes, just you got to understand it's always a tale of two seasons a lot of times with teams, especially when you have a veteran and a veteran coach and they're trying to get things situated together and they're trying to get a chemistry built up with the team and everything like that. And sometimes you got to get guys out of the room. And it's that simple. And that's exactly what the Broncos did. They got a lot of dead weight off of the team. They got guys who weren't producing off the team. A lot of people laughed at him when they got rid of Frank Clark. A lot of people laughed at him when they got rid of Randy Gregory. But you know what? They've been winning ever since they got rid of those guys. Those guys weren't good for their locker room. So that's why they're out of here. Russell Wilson has got comfortable with the receivers that he feels are going to be the guys that can get him, that he can trust. Jerry Jeudy is a guy who's in and out of the lineup pretty much, when it comes to attitude and things of that nature and, stepping it up and all that good stuff. And then you have Sutton, who has been somewhat of a, godsend for him, and Mims has been great as well too. So there's a lot of things that have worked out for this team. And last night they really won with a lot of creative play making and everything like that. Russell Wilson is one of the best when it comes to being a deceptive passer, and pretty much everything was on full display last night, and they were able to get a win. It was a little controversial because there was a pass interference call that did get them inside the 22, kick that field goal as well too. We know that there was a lot of issues about the Bills running a zero blitz at that moment in time. I thought that it was a great call. It's just that the safety messed up. As many Raiders and Browns and Steelers games that I've watched over the years and seen them run a zero blitz in a situation like that, and the same exact thing happened. So, you just have to be more conscientious when you're defensive back in that situation. That did wind up losing them the game. 12 man on the field, they miss a field goal, but it's a redo because you guys didn't have yourself organized. Because Denver did the right thing. Denver rushed their crew onto the field with no timeouts, while the Buffalo Bills literally left their defense out there, but somebody from the special teams ran out there to try to help block the kick, and it just didn't work. So, there's a lot of things that just did not go right last night for the Bills. But I will say one thing, though. It didn't go to the point to where you needed to fire your offensive coordinator. I think that was a lame duck excuse from a team that's absolutely falling apart at this moment. I didn't even want to believe that the Buffalo Bills were falling apart, but they are. And you know what? When you fire the coach the way that they did today, it just goes to tell you that the blame is being directed towards the wrong end. I think that pretty much the direction of whoever made the biggest mistakes last night has to be directed back towards the head coach. He is an absolute terrible clock management coach. He just doesn't do well in that situation. He doesn't set up situations the correct way. And there's a lot that gets told on the Bills when these games do happen. They've lost a lot of close games because of bad decision-making throughout the game. And you know what? Josh Allen is not exempt. He can't play reckless. He can't put his team in a bad spot. And he can't play scary either. Jeff mentioned that kind of profusely on the show earlier today on NFL Bet Exchange that, that he feels like he's playing a little scared. And I have to agree. So Josh is going to have to step up his game, and he's going to have to understand that none of these games are going to get handed to you. Just because the Bills have a great look going into the game does not mean that they are a lock to win these games. And that's what showed up last night. And you know what? A lot of us really did discount how well the Broncos were doing at this point. They've won 3 games in a row. the Buffalo Bills are coming fresh off of a loss, and the Buffalo Bills have not looked that good since being 3-1. They're 5-5 now. That means that this team has went 2-4 in that stretch. So there's a lot of things that this team needs to improve on. There's a lot of things that they need to get better at, and the Broncos are actually coming into their own. They're now tied with the Chargers for the second place in the AFC West, even though there is a little bit of a tie going on too with the Raiders, who are 5-5, but they're right there, right where they need to be, actually fighting for that final playoff spot right now, because we know how it goes with the AFC. They got 5, 6, 7 teams that are vying for a playoff spot right now. It's like they don't even have enough teams in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And pretty much there's 14 teams right now, and 7 of them are running for trying to get into the playoffs. There's another 7 that are already in the playoffs, but there's only 4 that are really locked for the playoffs at this moment, and that's all the division leaders except for whoever's leading the AFC North, and that's going to be the Ravens. So pretty much with that, that's just going to wrap it up for this topic in hand. But the Bills need to – there's a lot of things that the Bills need to fix, and it wasn't firing the offensive coordinator. They really do need to figure out how to manage this clock. They need to figure out how to keep Josh Allen's turnovers down, and they need to get a consistent running game so he doesn't always have to be in the middle of the running game. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of things that need to get fixed with the Bills. And you know what? As I said on our show earlier today, they're just a team that's in need of a bye as well too. Because at the end of the day, the team is 5-5 right now. That means they haven't had any time off. They play the Jets next week. So I do think they do get their bye week 12. So they should be able to get some rest to get back, get the batteries recharged. They need it, and they need it desperately. All right, let's move forward. Let's talk about our next topic in hand, which is going to be this, and that's going to be, is Coach Prime's methods working against him and his team? Will he bail for the SEC? Questions. Well, Deion and his group have went